One of the craziest things I have ever seen in my life is the pushers in the Japanese underground subway system. You see, the pushers, their entire job is to make sure that everybody fits on the Japanese subway train. You see, during rush hour, there are more people than the maximum occupancy of the trains. And people get really uncomfortable being in really, really close spaces. And so what they speculate is that 10% of the people that should have fit on the first train kind of delay, and then that 10% adds up with the next round of people, and then before long you've got too many people on the subway platform and you've just got to get rid of them. So the pushers are there to actually shove people into the trains, and these Japanese people are used to it. You walk over to the edge of the sub, and with somebody else assisting you, they are shoving you and pushing you and packing you into the train. And any sense of dignity or comfort or privacy all goes to the wayside. These people are literally packed in there with their face up against the glass. Their bodies are pressing into each other in a packed fashion. And they ride that way until they get to their destination. The doors pop open and the people flood out. Now, you would think, like, yeah, okay, maybe that makes sense over there, but I personally would never be involved in anything like that. You know, I'm an American and my space bubble is bigger, and I couldn't handle being that close to a person, especially not being shoved into them and not breathing their air, and that's just an odd thing, and that's over there. Except that the idea of these pushers originated in New York City in the early 1900s. So it's a matter of what we get accustomed to. Now, as I was thinking through this, I was thinking about how whimsical and deficient we are as Christians, and how much we're not willing to be in pain. Like, if the church asks any kind of sacrifice from us, like, I just not going to do that. Even though people can literally be shoved physically into cars, but I'm not willing to be uncomfortable at all. Like, I've got to have my certain name brand style of clothing. I have to have my, every 4-week haircut. I've got to have my nails done so often. I can't dumb down where I want to be able to vacation outside of the country, not just have to vacation inside of the country. Eat out? You mean I got to eat fast food? Are you kidding? Give a smaller car? Not to mention, what if a church doesn't have my kind of program? We're like, I'm above having any sort of pain, and that's just kind of where we're at. We're like, I'm not going to go through pain. And then, not to mention things like seating and parking issues. It's like, well, if the church doesn't have a parking place for me that's easy and accessible, then I'm not going to go there. Or somebody's sitting in my seat, or I have to step over somebody, or it's too close for comfort, and God forbid I have to sit beside another person. Or what about looking foolish, like loss of dignity? There is a total loss of dignity getting packed into a subway train, but Christians are like, no, I'm not going to look bad. I'm not going to witness or take a stand against, what the 80% of my office is for. That would be, that would make me look foolish. The reason I bring all this up is that Americans used to get pushed into these subway trains that were painful and uncomfortable, and they got abused in the case. And now Japan is doing, and human beings, just regular human beings, can get used to things that are outside of what they consider to be normal. But for some reason, the church wants to say that I can't be uncomfortable, or I can't, give up my privacy, or I have to retain all of my dignity. Just keep this in mind, that God is a fair and accurate judge. He knows what we could do and what we will do, and he will be exact and precise with his judgments.